I would never have dreamt that. If you asked me as a 25-year-old what I would be doing in life, I probably would have said, working for a corporation somewhere in a technical role or maybe managing a business or something within a corporate world. I didn't anticipate ending up in Brazil, marrying a Brazilian with all of the family approach that has. Total surprise. Life is kind of like a series of doors, and when a door opens in front of you, you've got a choice. You can walk through that door, or you can stay where you are. Arriving in Brazil was like walking through a set of doors to get here. I grew up on a farm in the north of New Zealand, which is a pretty poor area of New Zealand, by the way. That community was something quite special because it was only about 30 families in total living in the whole district. And we had to be pretty self-sufficient, so it was very much the family had to do everything. Well, I came to Brazil with the corporate, Fonterra effectively, or New Zealand Dairy Board at the time. After working here for 5 years in a corporate role, I had one of those doors appeared in the form of Mr. Wallace, David Wallace. He's a big farmer from New Zealand. He also reminded me of the opportunities of agriculture and Brazil. Together with his son Simon, who's a very good friend of mine, we set about creating a plan, kind of the downstream of dairy processing with the upstream, and together we created a kind of an interesting business. Quality of milk in Brazil is not very high, so coming in and just applying good practices to produce a high quality product means that we could differentiate ourselves on the downstream as well. We traded off growing very quickly because we chose to only use milk from our own supply. On the other hand, we gained this differentiated flavour and functionality, and more protein in the milk, which makes better products, be it coffee or yogurt in our case in the downstream. But we just can't grow very quickly because we depend on producing the cows ourselves. Think logistics and electricity and infrastructure and things like that. We knew that we'd have to do a lot of that ourselves. That's why we built a school. That's why we built 25 kilometres of power lines. That's why we built all the houses. That's why we do a lot of stuff ourselves, because you have to be the community. The secret to what we're doing in Lechismo is amor, or love. It's a love for the product. It's a love for processing our raw material correctly. It's a love for creating a strong community, very much in the moulds of the communities that we grew up in. Rural communities of New Zealand.
He showed us with Lechismo, he'd taken the New Zealand dairy model overseas. He told us he was like the pioneers in New Zealand but with internet, and established what very much is like how we farm dairy in New Zealand. He really showed that just the way we do things in New Zealand is not limited to New Zealand. You can take those ideas and thoughts elsewhere and apply them really well.
Delicari is kind of like the younger cousin of Lechismo, and what we've done is designed a system that is very flexible for manufacturing yogurt and ice cream using UHT milk and UHT cream that are produced on our farm in Dair. The idea being that we can put together yogurt, ice cream, milk, cream all on one truck to hotels, restaurants, cafes, etc., and deliver something to our customers that is the best yogurt in Brazil. Working in Brazil is not that easy. It's kind of a bureaucratic country. You can open a company in New Zealand in less than a day. Here it takes 6 months or something like that. So adapting to that was a little bit of a culture shock for some of our team. Opportunities in Brazil are enormous, in my view. I think that this is a bit like New Zealand was 30 years ago, but on a continental scale. I think there's a demographic bonus hitting Brazil where we'll never have more people of working age in this country than we will have for the next 30 years. Perhaps the cultural approach is a bit different. Brazilians are a lot more open and engaging, I find, than New Zealanders. They work very hard, but they enjoy life while they're working. Yeah, I like to cook. I like food. I like real food. I like to experiment a little bit. I like to, being a farmer's son, of course, I like lamb, and I like cooking lamb how it should be cooked. Brazil's great. There's a lot of options here. It's not all rice and beans. But I think the friendships and the passion for life here is something that it gets under your skin a bit. And becomes, you don't really leave Brazil once you've been here. I think success is enjoying the journey. I think that success in life is not about what you've got. I think success in life is about being fulfilled with the journey that you're on.